site visits on hub zone firms. And as you are aware, GAO conducted an investigation, and it was not a great message from the government to taxpayers and to agencies regarding the responsibility of making sure that taxpayer safeguards are in place to make sure that people are playing by the rules. Are you doing unannounced site visits? And how many has been conducted since GAO made this recommendation?
Madam Chair, we are making unannounced site visits. In the time till the last in March, and when this report was released, there had been 7 visits. Since that time, we've done over 600 in the last month. We are looking, using from the site visits of the rich neck in order to documentation is not complete. Work with next. In addition, the report 2009 report there were 9 people cited. 2 had been when we actually was okay. The remaining 16
with SBA and how tech they prepare a large disaster.
The reasons behind together into a few different categories. First, as I mentioned, we have regulations that have another category, is this a place where I think one area where we just disagree with SBA. We think that the Act is clear in calling for regional marketing plans and to have plans that are specific to the types of disasters that can occur in specific parts of the country. And that's one where it seems like there is some disagreement over whether what is already there at the national level meets the requirements of that Act. So that's one where we just have a fundamental disagreement, it seems. Some of the others, such as having programs that involve private lenders, those where those programs, SBA wants to conduct pilots before rolling out an actual program to get the experience of the program. That's one where, even though SBA has not met the requirements in terms of deadlines, we're fairly sympathetic to, because from our general work dealing with federal loan insurance and guarantee programs, sometimes when you go into a new type of venture, pilots can be very effective. Those are some of the examples as far as why there have been delays. One of the reasons we made a recommendation that SBA should come up with timeframes for the implementation of completing the requirements of the Act is we think that that will help facilitate a certain discipline in terms of getting to where it should be.
Okay. Ms. Mills, one of the most surprising findings of the report is the fact that nearly 4 years since Hurricane Katrina, the agency is still struggling to develop a risk-based disaster response plan. And as we enter the peak of hurricane season next month, will the SBA continue to rely on a disaster plan that is over 2 years old and that contains obsolete information?
Now, I presume that you're talking about our annual disaster plans. We submit monthly plans to Congress and assessments of where we are. But we will complete this annual plan. We agree that it's dramatically important and overdue, and we will complete it.
Do you have a timeline? And my next question is, will that disaster plan, comprehensive plan, will have the components mandated by the law?
Yes, it will, and many of these components are in place, and I think we need to just get you the plan.
When do you think it will be expected? Since I mentioned that the hurricane season is
I'll get back to you with an exact date that we promised, but we will look to do it as soon as possible because we have, I do want to say we want to thank Mr. Scheer because these actually have been very helpful template for us to go through and execute these things. So I think we are poised to bring you this report.
But you understand the urgency
Yes, I
of
do.
having this plan in place before the hurricane season is over us.
Yes, we do, and we actually have the capacity in place, so I think it's a matter of the report, which we owe you and will get to you.
Administrator Mills, this committee has asked SBA on a number of occasions if it has the resources and controls necessary to prevent contracting fraud. In the past, the agency has said that they have the resources necessary to prevent fraud in the Hub Zone program, only to have the GAO to find otherwise. So let me ask you today, do you have sufficient resources and internal controls to prevent fraud in the 8A program?
Thank you, Madam Chair. The 8A program is for small businesses. It is not for big businesses masquerading as small businesses. This has been a concern about this program. We have done a number of things to begin to make sure that we eliminate fraud and abuse and address the issues that have been raised. The first is that we have a strong upfront certification program and a formal certification that's done in 2 geographic areas specializing in this, Philadelphia and San Francisco. In addition, we've done some things since our last visit to you to specifically invest in this activity. The first is leveraging technology. We have added to our business development management information system in order to be able to better track these companies through their 9-year cycle. We are mandated to invest in them for business development, and we have 2
Administrator,
tools.
Excuse me one
Yes.
second, but since we have, and I have a lot of other
Please.
questions, I just want to make sure that today you're telling our committee that you understand that you have the resources and the controls in place and necessary to prevent fraud in the 8A program. And
We are making investments now in those things. We are have put in the 2010 budget some additional resources that would be very helpful. And we are working on a package of regulatory changes which will soon be brought public before you.
the same with the Service Disabled Veteran Program.
Yes, the Service Disabled Veteran Program is extremely important. As you know, that is slightly different because we need to work in conjunction with the Veterans Administration. We have a very important report coming, I think, from the GAO to help us work with them. I have a meeting with the Veterans Administration to work on the issue of their database, which is the database that is the governing database on who is a service-disabled veteran. That is critical for this program to only be able to deliver to service-disabled veterans.